Well, good evening, gang, and welcome to It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn Williams, and I'm your host. And of course, to my right and to your left is the lovely Amanda Lamoureux Smith. Hello, Amanda. How are you? Hey, we haven't seen each other in a little while.
Nice to meet
How
you.
are Glenn? Good to see you again, too. And I want to tell you, we're coming to you live from our beautiful studios here at BNN TV, and you're more than welcome to join us if you'd like. We're at 617-708-3290. And we'd love you to join in the conversation today. We have some exciting things to talk about today. Please join us and let us know what's going on artfully in your community and in your life.
Yes.
So I've missed you. How have you been?
I'm good.
I think the last time you were in the Bahamas, you were traveling around. Aruba. Did you have fun?
I lost my tan. Not that I really got tan, but what I did have is now gone.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that you get a chance to go and do that kind of traveling. Did you get to see any artful things while you were there?
No, but beautiful skies.
Yeah, the whole place is a tapestry.
We went on a sunset cruise, and that was magical.
I'll bet.
And I hadn't been on a vacation like that, at least, for 12 years.
Right.
So it was a great time.
Right. One of the things that you missed was we had some fantastic music. We've had some music in the studio. We're going to have some music next week in the studio too.
Are you going to play for us with your stuff on your new CD?
I'm not going to play my new CD.
Oh, come on. It's all about
You
Glenn.
missed the listens. Jimmy's in the building. You missed the listening party.
I know.
Which was such a success.
Making me feel bad.
And no, don't feel bad. But I got to tell you, it far exceeded anything that we thought we'd get. We got a lot of people in this building, and they got a chance to kind of be in an environment that's very, very tech orientated, and a lot of our music and stuff is recorded in home studios and kind of people's recording equipment in their basements and what have you. So it was kind of like a good chance for the community to join with what Access really is about.
Yeah, and see where this all happens.
And there's a program, there's footage being edited and put together, so we're going to be able to show it here on the show. So we're going to have an opportunity to show everybody what it was like. It was really, really exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It was.
Cool.
One of the other things that's going on is Janice, the super producer Janice Williams, has 3 pieces at the convention center, and one of them we believe are going to be flying off to Texas. We believe somebody from Texas has purchased a piece of hers, which is kind of exciting.
That's really exciting.
Yeah. She's also got some pieces hanging at City Hall and at our most important building in the city. And speaking of that, our first guest tonight is going to be Madam President of the City Council, Michelle Wu. We're excited to have her. And then our second guest later on in the show, Jimmy Guzman, is just an old friend, but we're going to let Jimmy tell.
Yeah, he has some new stuff to announce.
He's got some great new things happening. How about you? Anything new we need to know about? Besides job jumping and doing all kinds?
Don't say it like that. Moving on to bigger and better things.
That's what it is.
Yes.
Onward and upward.
No, it was a great move for me, and I'm very happy. So.
Yeah. Well, good. Congratulations on that.
I'm excited about it.
I'm glad that you made the move because I know that you wanted to get something a little different, and then you've taken a nice leap in a great direction for you, and I think that's important.
I decided not to settle and to wait it out and to really make sure that I'm just as much as a fit for the company as they are for me.
Yeah, well, that's good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You know, before we get started, I always take an opportunity to talk about the great organization that helps keep us here at BNN, but not just this program. They're a supporter of everything that happens here at Boston Neighborhood Network. Boston Main Streets. Boston Main Streets is that volunteer-driven organization that helps revitalize business districts. They come into different neighborhoods where the business district might not be functioning at the best level it should be. I guess that's a cool way of putting it. But back in the mid-'80s, when the then City Councilor Tom Menino saw that Rosendale Square was having an issue, that he brought this program called Main Streets that was never used in an urban setting before. They'd been setting up malls all over the country. They've been setting up these different things.
Right.
But the National Trust decided, let's try it in a neighborhood. Let's see how we can do that. And what they did was they brought in a board of directors who are all volunteers that have 7 people that live in the community and thrive and need that business district to help, with their family and what have you. And then there's people that have businesses in those neighborhoods. Another group, and then the other group would be lawyers, people, but they're all Rosendale-based people.
Sure.
And what they'd do is they would set up these committees. One was an economic restructuring committee, which would get the demographic information of the community so that they can get that information to the property owner who has this vacant storefront downstairs and build that up and get them to know what kind of needs, what are the needs that this community, should have. Well, there's already 5 nail places and 7 bakeries. Well, let's not put a bakery
and
downstairs.
18 Dunkin' Donuts.
And 18 Dunkin' Donuts. Let's not put one of the things that is very important to the Main Streets program is these mom and pop startups. Try keeping the chains out of these, think of Rossi Square. Try to make sure that Rossi Square is going to reflect the neighborhood.
Organic, authentic.
Reflect the cultural, makeup of the
Diversity,
community.
yeah.
Then there'd be a design committee who would work with that property, with the business owner once they get in there. And what they'd do is they'd help them with design, they'd help them with getting through City Hall, with the permitting and all that, make sure the signs aren't hanging out over the sidewalk too far. Here's what you can and cannot do. And originally what they'd do is if you took the grates down, they'd help pay for half of the signage. And that was big. Think about putting all your money into this business that you're starting.
Not even knowing that if it's going to succeed or not.
And not even knowing if something bad is going to happen. So you put up these grates, but you take them down. And fortunately for Rosendale, a couple of the original businesses that were involved took them down, and lo and behold, nothing happened. So little at a time, these other businesses started doing it, And then there's the promotions committee. And what they do is they run events to bring people down to the business district, like your farmers market, like... we just had an annual meeting down in Rosendale Square, which brought a couple hundred people down there, and they went and had dinner at different places. But that's what Main Streets does.
Great organization.
It's
and volunteer-based, correct?
Volunteer-based, yeah. And it's I've been with them for quite a long time, and I'm very proud of my affiliation. And so if you see somebody out there in a Main Street T-shirt working at an art table or anything at some of these events, make sure you thank them for us here at Boston Neighborhood Network, because it's support from organizations like that really drive this BNN TV thing.
I agree.
Speaking of that BNN TV thing, BNN TV, Boston Neighborhood Network, is the building that we're in. We're so fortunate to be here. It's an opportunity for people in the community to do television production. This station you're watching now, Channel 9, is non-profit based. It's news and information station. And your nonprofits come in, they bring guests in, they get to talk about what their mission statement is, different things that are going on. People can call in and ask questions, 617-708-3290. Boom. You can give us a call and get their message out. And this is kind of the place. The other side, which is Channel 23, is Access. And what they do on the Access, the best way to do this is, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn the station here, and we're going to take a look at what's going on over there. Well, do you see that? No. Hot dog. I'm hungry.
Hot dog.
But what it is it's an opportunity for people in the community to come in and learn how to do television production. Over on that side, you'll come and you'll take some classes in Final Cut Pro. You'll take some classes in lighting and how to do sound, how to run these amazing cameras. And then you take some classes. You get certified with all of that thing. Sign out the cameras downstairs. Take it out into the community and film the local debate. Film the local sporting events. Whatever is going on. And you bring it here and you edit it downstairs in this amazing Timothy Smith editing lab, which is the computer lab downstairs. And guess what? They put it on TV for you.
Yeah, it's a really great opportunity.
Yeah, so if you're interested in doing anything like that and getting involved, please go to www.bnntv.org. Click on Jim Atwood's name. He's the cat that's been around here the longest. He knows more about everything. He kills me every time I say it because I'm sending people in his direction like he's got nothing else to do. But he's the guy that can definitely direct you in the right direction.
Cool.
We get it all in?
Yep.
So everything's well with you. You're back. We're going to be together now for at least a couple of more weeks.
Yes, I promise.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
Listen, gang, you're watching BNN TV's It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn, and of course, this is Amanda. We'll be back with our first guest in just a couple of minutes. Our City Council President, Michelle Wu, will be right with us. Please do not go away. Well, thanks for hanging in there with us, gang. I really appreciate you being there. You know what? Amanda and I have been separated. I forgot a segment, but we're not going to go without doing this segment. But I do want to take just a quick opportunity to let you know that we have a Facebook page that we'd like you to come and join us on. It's a Facebook page. It's not just about this television program. It's about the arts in general around the city and around New England. There's lots and lots of information there. One of the things that's going to be there in just a couple of weeks is this show again. So we have a place where you can go and see some archived shows of ours that we've been doing for all these. Believe it or not, in November is going to be 20 years is the anniversary of this program. So we're very, very proud of that accomplishment. But there's lots and lots of past shows to check out. But right now, it's time for a great segment. I've missed it because I haven't been here and we haven't been together on this. But Amanda's Motivational Mondays has turned into a really important segment for us. So listen, gang, sit back and relax. It's time for Motivational Mondays.
Hi guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Weekly Motivation. I am glad to be back, and I know most of you are probably just as excited about spring. I think we're right around the corner, so we can cross our fingers and hope that winter is closing in on us soon. So the weekly motivation for this week is short and sweet. Aspire to inspire. It's so easy to get caught up in our day-to-day goals and consumed with what we need to do and our inspiration that we forget the little tidbits that we get from other people throughout our day. So every time that you see an instance that you can share your story or your struggles or what made you get through some of the obstacles that we're going through in your life, that those are the moments that you don't know that other people take away and maybe can, use that to get to their next step. So in the back of your mind, I think you should always be looking to spread the inspiration forward. As everyone knows, what goes around comes around. So that's all I have for you this week, and I'll shoot it back to Glenn.
That whole what goes around comes around is so true. But yeah, aspire to inspire. That's really, really a great way of putting it. But right now, it's our great pleasure and honor here at It's All About Arts to have somebody in the studio with us that not only represents us, but loves the city that we all live in and shows it every single day when she leads one of the finest city council groups in this country, I believe, Michelle. It's my pleasure to welcome to the set, please, President Michelle Wu, City Councilor.
Thank you for having me. Doing great. Excited to be here.
And I like to add Rosendale resident.
Yes, absolutely. I get to sing that on a regular basis in the summer.
We do, with the farmers market and dropping down. And I love it because I get to meet your lovely family and we get to chat and just say hello while you're passing through. How's everything?
Going well, yeah. Busy times.
It is busy times, no question about that. I'll start by asking you how you think our city's doing. How's everything with this great city of Boston?
Yeah, if you think about politics right now and where our country is, it is an important moment. And every day there's some crazy news coming out of Washington, D.C.
Sure.
So I think especially over the last couple of weeks, we've really seen what Boston's made of.
Yeah.
And our leaders have been really steadfast in standing together and saying, we are a city for everyone, and we're going to be here. We're going to take the lead if DC isn't. So
that's an
been
important
really
message.
Exciting to be part of.
As you know, I'm a delegate in a Ward 20 delegate member of the committee and stuff. And we had our great mayor was out last Saturday and not only echoed those words, but got us on our feet, feeling great about being part of this great city and Commonwealth. And so shout out to you and thank you for all of that. But the arts in the city. I'm on the whole thing Arts Boston with the great Julie Barrows and all of that, working on that, trying to get all kinds of things. Where do you see us? Where are we right now with the kind of the arts in the city?
Yeah, I mean we are with the arts as with a lot of things. We're one of the finest cities in the country.
No question.
A lot of other cities look to us as an example, but we have a lot of work to do still. At the city level, there's been a great deal of planning, as you said, under our new Chief of Arts, first ever cabinet level chief, Julie Burrows. And she has led the creation of this first ever citywide planning process, specifically around arts and culture. And there's a lot more, people might think of visual arts, performing arts, but we're really talking big picture, culture, experiences, how to connect every single community to the arts. And that's both how to support our big institutions, make sure we have the right venues, but in some ways more importantly, that the grassroots level, community level arts have the resources and support that they need.
I think one of the things that I've noticed about those meetings is not necessarily so much the meetings with the organizers, but the different cul-de-sacs of the city, people from Charlestown, people from Jamaica Plain, people who have these little arts associations are sitting at the same table and saying, you know what we did when that happened, you know, why don't you try this? And I think that's strengthening a lot of the feeling about the arts in our city.
Absolutely.
You know, one of the things I'm a big advocate for is the arts in education. And I, being an arts teacher and arts director myself, I always ask every kid that I meet, what was your art class like today? And it's not always as positive an answer for us. Is there something that we're looking at that could possibly move us in a direction where the arts can take a little more of a focus on the education of our younger citizens?
Yeah, I mean, the acronym that is on everybody's lips now around education is STEAM.
Absolutely.
Right, so not just STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, but putting that arts in there as well. And then with
a capital A.
Right, and with Sacred Heart, it gets to STREAM
with
religious education in there too. So I think everybody's recognizing now that you can't just judge the quality of education by a test score or by a grade at the end of the year.
Yeah.
We really need to think about the whole child, and giving kids a way to express themselves and with the arts is so important.
It really, really is. You know, there was exciting news that came out of City Hall not too long ago about how that there's going to be some restaurants and maybe some coffee houses that are going to be able to have a little acoustic. You know, I'm a musician. You know how I feel about music. But there's going to be an opportunity that I might be able to go down and kind of sit at the Center Cafe or something and just kind of play for a little while, as long as it's under control and stuff. How did that come? That's really exciting.
I am really proud of getting this done. And going back to your earlier conversation about the importance of small businesses and Main Streets, this really ties together all those pieces. The City Council had worked with Mayor Walsh over the course of the last year and a half, and we passed a law that actually takes away regulation for small businesses that want to host acoustic performance. So before, if let's say you're a coffee shop, if you wanted to have a guitar player come every once in a while, you'd need to go to City Hall, have a hearing, pay the fees, renew every year, do the paperwork, etc. And for most businesses, they have enough to worry about. They're not going to bother doing that, and then they're not going to risk it. So we experimented with 3 different pilots over the last year, saying for a week at a time in our Main Streets districts, can we just test out this idea that we're going to open it up for any small business to host acoustic performance, right? So we're not talking about rock bands where the neighbors are going to hear it. Exactly. But, you know, low impact, just music, spoken word, improv. And the response was amazing. Businesses said this filled up our restaurants on Mondays and Tuesdays. We had people coming in. We had musicians wanting to showcase their own skills. So we made it permanent. And there's now an ordinance 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Beautiful.
You can have up to 5 performers and up to 1 microphone. And no questions
you want
asked.
it to be low impact. And you know, I'm telling you, because I think of great places right in our square, Sophia's Grotto, the courtyard, where you know you can put someone sitting there with a little speaker and a little microphone and just playing it's just such a great idea. Oh, no question it does. It really, really does.
We did the launch of this. The mayor and I were at Suya Joint, an African a restaurant with African cuisine in Dudley Square, and the food was amazing, and then there were drummers there, and so bringing in the culture, the arts, the performance, it lets every neighborhood and every restaurant showcase what's special about that place.
That's great. That's great, because then you can culturally connect the music to the place.
Exactly.
You know, I think that's really important, not only for atmospheric feel, but for the education of some of our citizens, our young kids. You know me with the kids, especially the kids having dinner and listening to that music that's culturally connected to the restaurant they're eating in. That's critical thinking is what it is all over the place.
So we want people to take advantage of it.
Yes.
I've been going around trying to talk to different businesses about it, and the first question is, what? Is this real? Can we actually do this without a permit?
Like that.
Yes, it is real, and we want you to do it.
Tell them to call Glenn. I'll come down and play a couple of songs for you anytime. I know that you're pressed for time, and I'm really appreciative of you coming and spending a couple of minutes with us this evening.
Glad to do it.
Let's talk just quickly a little bit about upstairs in City Hall's kind of been a little gallery. I know there's Scully downstairs,
Yep.
which is the mayor's gallery.
Neighborhood
and
gallery.
It's a really, really great gallery. I love being there. I've been to 100 openings down there and stuff. But we've kind of expanded upstairs to your floor.
Yeah,
Tell me a little bit about that.
So wonderful, and this is huge.
Because we all
credit.
know about City Hall. It's the most beautiful building in the world, but the walls can be a little dank.
Well, the concrete really makes it so that anything on it jumps out a lot.
I'll tell Janice that's what her work needs.
Huge thanks to Suzanne Schultz,
Yeah, she did a
who has
great
connected
job.
us with the local artist community.
Yeah.
We've now had 2 rotations come through this term. This was actually started last term under Council President Linehan, where all of our City Council wall space is now available for local artists, photographers to come in and share their works. You know, they have a little description of who created it at any price point if they wish to offer it for sale.
That's
and
fantastic.
it's wonderful. We did a reception with the artists a little bit ago, and to be able to meet them and thank them was really fun.
A little bit of history you might not know. Rosendale used to have a gallery on those floors. When Dapper O'Neill and Dan Conley were city councilors up there, we got to hang some art from Rosendale up there for a couple of months, many years ago. But it was a great idea then. It's a great idea now. You're right. Canvas Fine Arts is doing some great things around the city, and Suzanne Schultz, of course, with her connection here with us here at It's All About Arts. We're very, very proud of what's going on. Anything else going on? Yeah, right.
Well,
Ask
one
a city
thing-
councilor. Anything else going
A
on?
lot on our plate, but specifically related to arts, just to flag for everyone, we are filing for the Fenway Cultural District's renewal. They were the first in the city to
Yeah.
receive that special designation. Has gone great, but they've reached their 5-year period, so now they're up for reevaluation. So
That's
there'll be a chance to
fantastic.
testify. And
That's great. Another question that I did get, someone called and told me and said in my head to ask was, with this new budget and what have you and all of that, I understand budgets. You put a bunch of stuff in there that you're willing to take out to get what you want. I mean, the national budget. We're talking about people cutting the arts and humanities. We're talking about people taking away some of the funding housing, Meals on Wheels. I'm going to get angry, but I don't. It's just. Is there a real fear? Are we afraid? Should we be?
we are looking at steps that I don't think the city's ever looked at before.
Yeah.
What do we do if we needed to ever sue the federal government? What do we do if
Can you
our
imagine
funding
those
is
words?
stripped
Can you
away?
imagine thinking about that?
And it's not just Boston,
No, it's
certainly,
not.
although, particularly around healthcare, and there were some things that we are particularly sensitive about. But this isn't it. It's a time of real uncertainty and real need for leadership, particularly from the local level.
And we have it in you. Thank you so much, Michelle. Do I call you Madam President? Is that?
In Boston,
is there an
you can
official
still use
thing?
Madam President.
Is there an official thing we're supposed to call you? But thank you, my friend, for coming in and spending a couple of minutes for us.
Great to see you.
Say hello to your lovely family for me, will you?
Will do.
Listen, gang, you've been watching It's All About Arts. Look, we're only halfway done. We've got more art and more great things to talk about, so don't go away. You're watching BNN TV's It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn Williams, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Don't go away. Well, welcome back, gang. Thanks an awful lot for hanging in there with us. It's always a pleasure when we have our city councilors come and being represented here and talking about their neighborhoods and the state of our city. And there's nobody more informed or more proud of what's going on in this city than the president of the city council, Michelle Wu. But, you know, right now, though, it's time. Old friend and great art enthusiast and member of our It's All About Arts family. Jimmy Guzman is back. Hello, Jimmy. How
Hi,
are you?
great. How are you
Welcome
doing?
back to
Thank
the
you
show.
so much.
It's good
I
to see you.
great to see you.
And of course, Amanda is
Yes.
back
Hi,
here
Amanda.
with
Nice
us.
to see you, my
too.
dear.
How's everything going?
Everything's good. Everything's great.
How
So-
is the state of arts from your vantage point? I mean, you're no one's more involved in the arts than you are. I mean, I've heard of some great things happening at the museums with you, and there's all kinds of different things happening. How do you see the city, since we were talking about that for a second, with the arts?
I mean, honestly, I feel like the city has definitely evolved, and it's a much more of a power player in terms of the arts. And, and I think it's growing, and people are more excited about it. And I think the quality of arts is actually getting better as well, in theater especially.
Yeah.
So I'm actually very optimistic and positive about it.
Good, I'm glad.
So I think it's great.
You know, people say arts, we always think of the stuff that hangs on the wall, but it's not necessarily so. Look at the live music we've got going on in the city. Look at the theater. The theater alone is great in stepping in the right
Exactly, and some of my favorite one of my favorite types of art is performance art.
Yeah.
And I think you're starting to see a lot of really powerful performance art pieces throughout. So, yeah.
So last time you were here, we were doing all kinds. There was all kinds of things going on. But now you've traveled across the world and come to Revelations, and there's a big change going.
But it's still all of our art.
That's not what you were saying earlier, folks.
No. So lots of change. So I think the last time I was here, I was still with another event design firm.
Yeah, you were doing some.
It was just another design firm in the South End, and then so I left. I resigned, and I started my own company, J&G Event Consulting.
That's amazing.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
I appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
But you were
Thank
standing on the Serengeti and got it.
So when I left, I actually had a trip to Ghana that was sort of in the works, thanks to my colleague Erica Jones of Olux Design. And so she needed a production assistant for the trip.
Yeah.
And she's also a floral and event designer. And so she had met a woman out in Ghana, Accra, Ghana, who invited her to teach a floral workshop out there. And when I became available, she offered me the role, and I said, of course. So that was really exciting because the day before we flew out to Ghana, I also had a speaking engagement that was lined up, and it was to talk about marketing and effective marketing for businesses and things. So we flew out, and the first few days we were there, we just sort of enjoyed the environment and the hotel. And the day of the workshop, Erica had organized it so that we would teach how to make a bouquet, how to design a centerpiece, and how to design a floral chandelier. And the DJ started the day off with a prayer. And then after every single module, we would dance and he would play music. And I remember from the moment I left my previous job until Ghana, like those 6 weeks leading up to it, I remember feeling like I was waiting for something, like I was waiting for a thrust or a push. And I remember I remember standing there in the middle of this tent in Accra, Ghana, all the way across the world, and we were laughing and we were dancing and we were singing and we were praying, but I wasn't waiting, and I felt so good and empowered and strong. So yeah.
You were motivated.
I was motivated. And I thought of you, Glenn, and I thought of you. And the trees, and the trees in Franklin Park.
And everything potted, and there it was.
Yes.
The
And
logo
the name
was
of your
written.
company. Yes.
Yeah, so from Accra, Ghana, so more traveling actually
Yeah.
during that time period. I flew to Los Angeles. I had a photo shoot set up in Malibu.
Yeah. You went to the music awards too, didn't
And
you?
I went to the American Music
Yeah,
Awards,
yeah,
exactly, yeah. So that was really fun. I was with who was my intern at my former role, Emma Wheeler, and so we traveled to LA together. She was the photographer on the photo shoot.
Right.
And it was subsequent, and as we were on the beach in Malibu, a reporter from the Malibu Times was there, and he took a picture, and he featured us in the Malibu Times.
how fun.
So that was really cool. So yeah, it just so happened that in LA, of all
Of course. Well, that's exciting.
Thank you.
But then there is that leap. Mm-hmm. The leap to order business cards, the leap to get a little logo, the leap to make a business plan and all that. That would scare the Christmas out of me. But somebody with the energy and the forethought and the will to be successful as you are, is it still that leap? Is it? At night you're saying, what?
Oh yeah, for sure, sure, Glenn. Because and Amanda, well, so I didn't think I was going to start my own company. It wasn't sort of my motivation. It wasn't the spark that caused me to leave. Like I just knew that I had reached a point where, irrespective of whether I stayed or whether I left, whether I continued working for them or if I had started my own thing, I was ready for a drastic change, and that change came with me leaving. So, you know, I left and I dropped my things off, and 3 weeks later I had my new business cards, my new website, my new telephone, and all those things. And it was really exciting, but I owe so much to so many people. Like, I'm so grateful to Erica Jones and Jim Carr and like so many people who have helped me along the way and supported me, because I think when you start a company, you need these voices telling you that everything's going to be okay and that you made the right decision. You need support.
And encouragement.
Well, encouragement, but there's also got to be that voice. Somebody's got to have one of these ears of yours saying, be careful be careful here, be careful there.
I think, you know what it was, Glenn? I've always loved people. And I think the last time I was here, I spoke about my previous experience. Like, I had been a GM of a hotel and restaurant. I was an operations manager for a catering company. I worked for Winston Flowers, who I credit with so much of my design experience and my creative juices.
Big part of your life.
Winston Flowers, I mean, of all the design experiences I've had, they were probably the most influential for me, and I credit them tremendously. But I think that what I knew starting J&G Event Consulting was I love people, and I've always been motivated by the idea of bringing joy and happiness to people's lives and bringing beautiful things to people. And so I knew that if I continued and I held focus to that I could do anything. Right. And I knew that I could do whatever I put my mind to, and I think that so many of the things I've accomplished in my life were from focusing and being determined and just sticking with it.
Well, I think we know that once you throw the switch, it's full steam ahead. You know, there's no question about that. And I think in order to be successful, you kind of have to be, don't you? You can't kind of nudge your way in.
Yeah, no, exactly. So unfortunately, I knew plenty of people. Like in all of my roles, I had met so many people in the industry. So I maintained all of those connections and things. And I think I had built a reputation for myself as someone who was friendly and easy to work with.
Well, you're not a bridge burner, no.
Sometimes you do have to burn a bridge. So just one.
Just the one, right? I think the big question, though, that everybody kind of has been mailing in and asking, and I think we've got several people online that want to know, what's the N stand for?
The N, so J-N-G.
I got the J and I got the G.
So Nicolas.
Oh, really?
Nicolas. So my name is Jimmy Nicolas Guzman.
You gotta use it.
Yeah,
it's great.
No,
I give you Amanda Lamoureux,
That's great.
Jimmy Nicolas Guzman.
Yeah, Jimmy. We got some visuals.
Yes, we have some pictures.
We got some pictures.
Yeah. I'm excited.
If we can get our great staff to kind of lead us on that way.
This is me.
It'll show up here in a second.
Oh, cool, perfect.
Yeah. We're gonna switch them over.
Are we?
There it is.
Okay, so this first picture, so I'm in the center, and right next to me is Erica Jones of Olix Design.
Yeah.
And this is us with all of our students in Accra, Ghana, after we had designed some of the
this is the trip.
This is the trip to Ghana. And you know, like those smiles are genuine and authentic and real. And really, it was such a pleasure getting to know all these women and some men. And like I said, you know, we were just laughing and dancing and having a great time. And it was just a beautiful, poetic experience.
It seems like it, yeah.
It was really great. And then, okay, so this is a photograph by Emma Wheeler. And this is our shoot in Malibu. So I had designed...
Now, did you do this?
I designed the headdress. And the models, Annette Chu, makeup artist Constance Faux. And I designed this headpiece using materials that we found in Los Angeles. And that was actually the day before the American Music Awards, so we had a really robust trip. But really happy about it and so excited that it got published in the Malibu Times.
Oh, that's so exciting.
This is actually from an event I did recently.
Is this a runway?
It's not a runway, though she is posing quite...
I thought it looked like she might have been walking, no?
She's posing quite gracefully. So this is actually from an event planned by Soraya of SYB Event Planning. It was a corporate party, Cirque d'Athena. And I designed the headdresses as well as all the feather statement pieces throughout the room. And that was a really fun project. I got to work with Jim Carr, Be Our Guest, Chris Lincoln of Gateway Productions, Soraya, and some other wonderful people.
Very cool.
So many to name. So this is me. So in December, I was commissioned by a private client to design a church installation. It was probably, it was the most painstaking and grueling project I had undertaken to that point, and certainly the most challenging one as an independent business owner. But it was also the most significant for me because it bookended this whole year. I would often go to that church and pray, and kind of like meditate on like what my next steps would be and what I should do and all those things. And so that church had been a sanctuary for me.
Is that what made
What a
it
way
so
to get
made the work itself difficult because the place was so personal to you?
It's
or was it the
Tediousness
scope of it?
doing that.
it was actually the scope because it was garlands and it was all this. So what I'm creating here, I wanted to design two decorative moments that were comprised of fallen Romanesque pillar groupings. So there's actually a pillar that had fallen, and I spray painted pine cones, and there was ribbon as well falling out of it. And then this upright column with the candelabras dressed, sort of representing like, you know, triumph over destruction or triumph over adversity. And so I wanted those two pieces to represent that. And for me personally, it represented pre-J&G and post-J&G. So the candelabra that's dressed in this beautiful rose and evergreen garland is my post-J&G time period, lit as well. So
Very nice.
Lovely.
Very beautiful.
And then this is a recent shoot that I did at the Lenox Hotel. Really, really, really fun project. Studio B photographers took the image. My friend Benita Patel. And one of
Was
my
it an actual wedding?
It was not an actual wedding, but you know, the dress was from Lily. You know, the tuxedo was from English Cut. My friend Haley Maybury, Benita, one of my best supporters throughout my whole process. You know, so many people I have to thank for starting J&G and sustaining myself.
Yeah.
And she's certainly one of them. And you know, the Lenox Hotel was a pleasure to work with.
Sure.
And Travis and Amber, the two models. You know, really great people.
You're the perfect guest.
And Jim,
you can't put anything but that. You know everybody's name connected to everything.
Yeah,
That's
it'd
perfect.
be our guest too with all the rentals and things. Simone Williamson, I love her. So this is a photo shoot I did. It's actually one of my first photo shoots as J&G, and it was at the Day and Estate at Pine Manor College. Michelle Friedman was gracious enough to let us use her space, and Rachel Lynn and I worked together on coordinating this look. But I discovered here this day that I love making garlands, and I never knew. So I had never designed to the extent that I've been designing as an independent person. But I've been really carving out my own sort of design niche and my abilities, and it's been a pleasure. And I love garlands. I really do.
Stunning.
Thank you. So this was a piece that I did at All Saints on Newbury Street. It's actually themed around zero gravity. It's not designed in a vase, and it's not designed in foam. I mask water tubes very delicately throughout, but for me, this piece is significant because I remember as I was designing it, it was at the end of a long day. I had just had a huge event set up. And I remember composing this, accompanied by the DJ playing music, and I had entered this sort of trance-like state where I was designing, and I was dancing, and I was singing, and I was praying.
That.
You were living. Yeah.
And there I was, and it was just this thing that came and happened organically and beautifully, and I'm very proud of it. So,
That's great.
Thank you.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Are you, I know you've got some other things that have popped for you that have been very exciting.
Yes.
You've been doing some work at the museum.
Yes, I have. So I'm on the host committee for the Museum of Fine Arts Summer Party.
That's amazing.
And I'm also on the host committee for the Boston Center for the Arts BCA Ball. And I have to thank Juan Carlos Gonzalez for getting me involved with them. And Kelly Tier and Jordan Lovejoy are fabulous to work with. And I'm also a teacher.
Talk about the teaching a little bit. I think that's incredible.
Do you have time for personal life?
Yeah, no. But it's okay.
Yeah, it's right.
No, it's okay. So I had taught at Newbury College 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And when I taught at Newbury College, then I had just become the general manager of a hotel. So the hotel was in disrepair. I was really tasked with the responsibility of fixing it and bringing revenue back and taking it out of the red and all those things, which succeeded, and it was great. And it was then actually that I discovered a love for events and marketing and utilizing a space as a vehicle to promote a brand. So so teaching for me, the opportunity fell into my lap. They reached out to me. Someone had moved on. And I remember thinking to myself, like, wow, here I am 7 years later. I had just started my own company. Let me leverage this and really do a great job with it. So I'm teaching hotel front office operations. And I've had a guest speaker at nearly every single class from the industry. So I've had photographers and event designers and floral artists.
You know, my family worked at the Parker House for
You
many
told me
years.
that's the last time I was on here. I'm going to copy paste that so you can see you said the exact same thing.
Just so you know, my family.
Glenn. Sorry, we had to do that. Sorry. But yes, the Parker House.
That's right, Dumpy's Parker House. So what are you teaching? Are you teaching front office management?
Yeah,
Are you kind of like doing? You're not doing food and beverage.
But do you know that I did get a certificate in professional cooking, or I had been working towards that at Newbury College when I was in graduate school. So it's kind of fun to be there and teaching. But so I'm teaching hotel front office operations. So what I have the speakers come and talk about is guest services and positive experiences and leadership and teamwork and communication, all things that are relevant for so many different industries. But I think for me, what's been the greatest joy is these are people that I've worked with, but seeing them speak and then seeing them come to their own realizations during their lectures has been really inspiring.
Great.
And the students, of course, are taking so much away from it as well. So I leave there getting to know these people in so many different ways and seeing a different facet of their lives that I probably wouldn't have had they not been a speaker in the class.
Right,
you know?
right.
So I've been honored that so many of these people have taken the time out of their day and so grateful to them for doing so. It's really been a pleasure.
Great, that's exciting.
Yeah.
That's exciting
Thank
news.
you so much. I appreciate it.
You know, teaching is very rewarding for the instructor as well. I mean, you get a lot when you see those faces, when the faces on the kids that you were doing in when you were overseas and stuff. I think that's part of why we do that. You know, really is. You made for J&G. You're not really an events planner, are you?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not an event planner. So oftentimes I'm asked, are you an event planner? And the answer is I am not an event planner. Most of my clients are actually event planners.
Well, define an event planner. What does an event planner do?
So an event planner essentially manages all the logistics of an event and plans the whole event for the client. They don't necessarily get their hands dirty in design necessarily, unless they're a planner who's also a designer.
Right.
But folks like me, we do design and we do kind of coordinate a look and things like that, which many planners can do anyhow. There's many talented planners in the city who can do that. But for instance, I do floral design. So oftentimes when I work with an event planner, I'm assisting with them with floral design.
Right.
You know, so. And I think in my previous role, what I valued most about relationships with event planners is that just the fact that it's continuous. It could be a continuous source of business, but also it's like I loved letting the event planner shine. In meetings with an event planner, I love just affirming them and just working with them to assist them with creating their vision for the event. And it's just something that I've always loved to do. So
Are you more of a specialist?
I'm an event consultant.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best way to say it because so many times people are like, wait, I still don't understand what you do. You're a teacher, you're this, you're that.
Yeah.
And really I'm whatever you need me to be. It's like, I mean, I've done it all. I mean, I was a manager of a hotel and restaurant. I managed the operations for a catering company. I've managed catered affairs, I've designed, I've done this, I've done sales and marketing. Someone just asked me to write a press release for her. I can do so many different things because I have so many of those different skill sets.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, then why not the leap?
Yeah, why not?
To what?
So what you're doing now?
Event planning.
No, because it's not really my interest. I think that to me is a lot of work.
Yeah.
Event planning is a lot of work. So
Well, you're responsible for everything from soup to nuts.
everything, exactly. So I'd rather just do Specialize, exactly. And the thing is, I only service a select number of weddings every year. So most of my brides and couples come to me via an event planner or a venue referral.
Right.
And so if somebody wants to work with J&G Event Consulting, they have to be referred by their venue or an event
That's
planner.
great.
Yeah.
So what's on the horizon? You
Oh
gonna
my
host your own
God.
show or something?
You want to give me a show, Glenn? How about that? You want to give me a
Sounds
show?
like my
Seriously, hey, so many things. I'm J&G Event Consulting is also involved with the American Theater Wing in New York. So I'm going to the Tony Awards in June. So I'm excited for that. And then
Should we look for you on the carpet?
Yeah, right.
you should absolutely look for me on the red carpet.
Okay, because I'm a fool for those shows. I mean,
are you?
I get on the internet and I let it run, and I get Twitter going, and I'm just watching and paying just because I'm.
Yeah,
I'm jealous is
no,
what
no,
I...
I'm
What it
excited.
comes down to.
No, I'm excited for June. I have a major event.
Yeah.
And then I have a wedding. And then it's the BCA ball, and it's the MFA summer party, and then it's the Tony Awards, and then it's so many, so many other
Yeah.
things are happening.
Yeah,
So
that's
a
great.
lot of things cooking in the
Do you have a
oven.
website all wound up for people to go to? What is it?
I do. It's www.jngeventconsulting.com.
Gotta get the consulting in. The consulting part is so important. There it is. Okay, great. Listen, Jimmy, thanks.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for
I
coming
really
in.
appreciate
It's
it.
always
It's
fun.
always so nice to see you.
No,
and thank you
you.
so much,
Yes.
Amanda, as well. It was really a
And
pleasure.
listen, if you got anything coming up that you want us to come and throw a couple of cameras around and ask the important questions, let us know, because we're always looking for stuff to put on the program here.
Okay.
I mean, we'd love to get the cameras out of the closet and come and maybe, cover an event or something like that. Let us
Really,
know.
would you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely
awesome.
we would.
You would, yeah, I have
It's
a few.
all about arts.
Yeah,
We'd
that
love
makes
to.
Actually, there's a really exciting one which I'll talk to you about, Amanda. So,
Okay.
yeah.
You're probably right. Go through Amanda.
Yeah, I'm like,
Amanda and Janice, because if you get, I've got plenty on my.
Yep.
Will you
Thank
hang
you
around
so
and say?
much.
Will you hang around and say goodnight with us?
I will for sure.
Thank you.
definitely.
It wasn't Michelle Wu lovely? Isn't she great?
Yeah,
She's amazing.
Isn't
yeah, it was
that
my first time meeting her, so I was kind
Yeah.
of like awestruck.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, big star in the room. And it's like
But not as big as you, Glenn.
Oh please,
It's all about that.
boy.
I mean, nice.
My birthday was the other day. It's all about me. Don't forget it.
Really?
No,
What's your birthday?
March 25th. I just had it.
Okay, congratulations.
I'm old.
You're not. You actually look fantastic. I was going to tell you that.
For somebody my age,
In general.
in general. Jimmy, thank you so much
Thank
for being
you,
here.
my
And
pleasure.
let's not be strangers. I'm serious about letting us know.
I
mean,
know,
we'd
I
love to
will.
come and
No, I'm serious,
poke a
too.
camera outside of someplace and interview some people about what's going on. I think it'd be fun.
Ooh, okay.
Especially if we put your little logo in the corner of it and stuff. Show it here. It'd be great.
Yeah.
All right,
totally.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good
Yeah.
for sure. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Listen, gang, thanks an awful lot for being here with us. We're going to give them a chance to turn the studio over. There's a great show coming up next, the Greek program, who's been here exactly 1 year longer than we have. she's going to let me know about that. But that's on next. And like we say, please tune into our new radio station, which we're going to be doing a show very, very soon on. WBCA. It's a 102.9 on your FM dial. Did you know that? We have a new radio station we're very excited about. So tune into that. We'll be starting our program there probably in about a month. A new program.
Exciting stuff.
Beyond the
That is really exciting.
Beyond the Palette, we're going to call it.
Beyond the palette.
Yeah. Don't anyone take it. It's taken.
Trademark.
Listen, gang, like we always like to say, get out and do something artful for yourself. Go visit Jimmy's website. There's plenty of things, exciting things going on. Go see us on Facebook. It's all about arts on Facebook. And give us a like. Give us a follow. This show will be on there again in just a couple of weeks. Listen, like I like to say every week, but I'm getting sick and tired of saying it. I wish for the day that I don't have to. Please keep in the forefront of your minds our mothers, fathers, sons and daughters, aunts and uncles, nieces and nephews on foreign soil, please. Do something artful for them. They'll appreciate it. I'll appreciate it. Jimmy will love it. And Amanda obviously will keep on smiling about it.
On smiling.
Listen, gang, we'll see you next week, okay? Bye-bye now.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye.